Howdy folks, today we're tackling a format with Big Red, a deck made by Slicers and Brotherhood standard today. See how it does in the ladder. Alrighty, we're going first, and not a lot of removal or anything, but 2 Bankbusters, sign me up. What's our opponent on? Opponent drops us a hello. We'll drop a hello back. Get our Reckoner Bankbuster going. Next turn, get this Chandra down, depending on what our opponent plays. Nothing, okay. Well, yeah, I think we want to get this Chandra down then. Our opponent have any counter spells? Looks like they do, okay. Hopefully we draw a land this turn. Fable, yep. Alright. See if we can draw a land here. Looks like we did, that's big. Gonna go ahead and pass. Start drawing with these Bankbusters. Gonna just want to keep hitting lands so we can keep casting spells. Does our opponent have an Abrade or anything? Discarding 2 mountains. Okay. Not a bad discard. Get the Storm Carved Coast going. Alright, they're gonna be attacking here, but they can't cast an Evoke Despair since they are on only 3 potential black mana. Could cast a Sheldred here though, and that would be tough. Kaido? Okay, Kaido happens.
You'll never see me come.
Resolving.
There's no secret I can't uncover.
Opponent's gonna pass. And we're gonna draw with one of these Bankbusters. If they have a Braid, they'll kill the other one in response to us drawing with the 1. They're on Bankbusters, sure. Go ahead and draw. Responsibly hit a land here. Fable of our own. Okay. Land. Land was solid. A solid draw. Play this Atsushi, but I think we still want to be drawing with Reckoner Bankbusters, so we're just gonna go ahead and pass and try to keep hitting land drops. Flips their reflection. We're low on removal here, so wouldn't be bad if we drew a burn down the house or anything. Liliana, sure.
Nobody knows Dominaria.
Yep. Going to go ahead and sacrifice. Yeah, burn down the house would be a good draw here. Would keep us in this game, honestly. Yep, one gets their treasure. Problem here is that they have a make disappear could get kind of ugly. They have another one.
Now, what do we have here?
What's their opponent thinking? A land drop? They do, okay. And they have 3 mana untapped. Be another Fable. We're going to draw the Bankbuster. See if we can hit something good here. Should've been Devastator. Okay. I think we want to keep the land. I think the Planeswalkers right now are just going to get killed by creatures, so we're going to bin both of those. Hit 2 more lands. Okay, that could have gone better. Look at this Atsushi going. Our opponent has a make disappear. They'll have to sacrifice something to make sure it gets countered, but looks like they don't have that. Opponent's going to be able to draw here. Can't target our own Atsushi with our reflection, which is something we must note. Opponent's in the tank here. They're going to be drawn with their Bankbuster. Looks like they are. Alright, go ahead and get that draw, opponent. Anything else they'd like to do? 1 mana up? Nothing. Opponent's also looking to hit land, just like we are. Opponent's gonna make his discard here. I think we're pretty comfortable discarding this Mishra's Foundry. I think we'd rather have the colored mana at this point.
We all have things we'd rather.
And by having a card we don't mind discarding, we don't have to show our opponent that we've done something up here. If we didn't have anything in hand, which we really don't, our opponent could probably expect that we would draw there and then discard our worst card, but Mr. Foundry is amongst the worst cards we can have in this spot anyway, so. Alright, yeah, we're definitely going to block here, because they do get some treasure. Abrade. Sure. It didn't abrade our Bankbuster. And what do we want to hit? Do we want the treasure tokens or the cards? Let's try the cards. I think we're just looking for a burn down the house or something at this point. Rending Flame's not bad. Can hit a Planeswalker. Okay, opponent goes and draws.
There's no
See if what else they have.
Uncover.
Are they going to just draw now with their Bankbuster? To me, that would indicate they don't really have a lot else going on. I'm waiting for our opponent to show us a big spell here. Corpse Appraiser going to eat our Atsushi, you would imagine. Wouldn't want to think they would eat their own Corpse Appraiser. Doesn't look like it. I mean, they have one talking to him on the battlefield. Probably don't have another in their deck, but just probably good practice to exile from our graveyard. And to tank about what the card they're going to get off of the Corpse Appraiser trigger is. Mills a Wandering Mine in a swamp, so they must not need land, so it's good to know. Opponents got mostly gas in their hand, or they decide they just don't need... sorry, it means they might not have all gas in their hand because they might have a bunch of lands in hand, or it just might mean they, they feel like they're good with mana at this stage in the game. Opponent, not sure what's holding up their priority. They'll hit them with a year ago. Gonna trigger the Corpse Appraiser. It's definitely a reasonable plan. We're gonna go ahead and draw here. I think our opponent wants to make this Corpse Appraiser token right now because we have, so that way they can block a potential Reckoner Bankbuster attack. I think to get around that, we're going to try to attempt to cast this burn down the house right here. Oh, see if they have another make disappear. If they do, it's going to be backbreaking. This is our step back into the game here, though. What is our opponent going to copy with the Appraiser? What are they going to do? They could try to look for another make disappear that way. Okay. Also could just be, best thing they're looking for. If they put a make disappear in the bin, obviously that means they probably had 2 in that set. Get rid of their own Corpse Appraiser. Shows that of the Wandering Mine. Opponent gets some value out of their reflections. We have 2 Bankbusters cooking though. Okay, so this Go for the Throat's not really good, so I think they would take most relevant spells over that, so I don't think that necessarily means they have a make disappear. I don't know if they're going to draw with a Bankbuster or let everything go. Okay.
Fine. I'll take my zombies and leave.
And we're going to draw with our Bankbuster and attack the Kaido with the other one. Opponent seems to be on Go for the Throats. Do they have an Abrade here? Not a bad time to cast an Abrade if they have one. Would make sense to me. Okay. Good on our opponent there. Good time to use their Abrade. We're going to try a Voltage Surge. Yeah, I think we are going to use this. Just kill this Kaido. I think it's still worth it. Submit 0. Obviously, we're losing the value here off the Rending Flame and the Chandra, but it's kind of what we got going on here. It's not ideal, but I think we had to burn everything down that turn. Could have been wrong about that, but we have this big old Devastator coming in. And some Foundries in the next turns. We have this Abrade, of course, as well. Looking for some value from us. Problem was we got behind early. Cutting down, sure. Cutting down doesn't hit much in our deck. So hopefully they have a handful of them. Looking at cards in our graveyard. Be another Corpse Appraiser. Fable, okay. It's a good card to rebuild. They have the Reckoner Bankbuster up still. So this is 5, 6, 7. See, they have a counter spell here. Coming in with a 7/7 Flying Haste. Have to imagine that at some point they drew a Go for the Throat in their hand. Okay, they did. They value drawing over it. See what they're getting rid of. My guess is if they don't have a Go for the Throat, they're going to bin some stuff. Of course, a Liliana here cleans this up, so that might be another reason for them not to feel like, even if they have the Go for the Throat, they'd be fine here if they can get value off their Liliana. We're in a tough spot here. This is kind of the classic big red problem where you just kind of... Oh, they decide not to discard it. Yeah, that's not good for us. Guy has to mean Liliana's coming. But this is kind of the classic big red problem where your opponent's spells are just better value. And yeah, we've just been outvalued this game. Oh, Invoke Despair makes sense too. Liliana Invoke Despair. Similar there, just basically a card where it makes us sacrifice one creature, since we had one creature exposure there. Okay, opponent is getting all the value. We're going to need to hit something good here. I think we're going to concede. Guess we do have these Mistress Founders coming. We get blocked by Corpse Appraiser now, though. Opponent's got a full stocked hand. They exiled our Shivan Devastator. Yeah, I think that'll be enough. I don't think we can... I mean, even if we have Braid here, they crew the Reckoner Bankbuster, still can't get in with the Mistress Foundries. I guess we could get in with our own Bankbuster. Okay. Yeah, alrighty. I'm down for that. Get in with our Bankbusters here. Get Bankbuster here. It's gonna take a lot of mana to do so, but this is what we got going on. I thought we were dead, but maybe we found a line to victory. Good to keep this mountain in hand. Opponent down to 7. They have the Sulphurous Springs that can deal them damage if they're not careful with how their mana gets tapped. But probably are all set on mana over there. Yeah, I'm just thinking back. They didn't have their make disappear on turn 2, and we got to do our things with Chandra. I think maybe we're fine. Opponent probably doesn't need to play anything else, but see if they do. Yep, Wandering Mind's still pretty good. Yeah, opponent is at 25 cards in library. We're at 37. Of course, some of that was from the Corpse Appraising, but yeah, they have a negate. Shows a negate too. Yeah, they're gonna negate a Brotherhood's End, and we're gonna die for lethal. GG's. Let's get the deck tech. Okay, so as you kind of saw in that game, we're a deck that really can get outvalued. We're totally a value deck. Like, that's our entire proposition in the format. We're a value deck looking to, you know, sweep away our opponent's creatures and kind of go over the top of what they have going on. Problem is, when you play a deck like Grixis Midrange, they're kind of intended to do the same thing, but more accidentally, right? They have, you know, we have Chandra Just to Kill, which draws a card only if it's red. they have Kaido, which just always draws you a card as long as you attack. You know, we have, you know, Jaya or Atsushi. They have Corpse Appraiser, which is cheaper, Sheldred. So their threats are just better on you know, on rate, on curve. And so that's the kind of deck we're trying to avoid playing against. And kind of the trope with Big Red is like, oh, you know, Big Red is just like a worse version of whatever other mid-range, you know, high-end mid-range deck you could be playing. And I kind of feel like that's the case in this format, but maybe we can make changes to try to address that. Although I'm not really certain what we could do. I think if we had some sort of way to interact with the graveyard, we could do some more damage. I think our really only way to do that is unlicensed Hearse. But I can go ahead and talk about the deck here that Slicer's built. I think the removal suite is pretty good. He's Voltage Surge and Abrade, Brotherhood and Burn Down the House. I think means you're probably favored against a lot of these aggro decks, which maybe I don't know. Maybe the solution is just to not get paired against Grixis mid-range and just hopefully play against other aggro decks. But it is possible that we're better against aggro decks than Grixis is, so maybe that's sort of where you slot in the metagame with this deck. And against control decks, I think we're in a good spot too with the suite of Planeswalkers and the Bankbuster. And, you know, Fable's always good. And then always, you know, if our opponent has to tap out to deal with something, hitting with a big Shivan Devastator, I think is a good spot to be as well. So now that I'm talking about it more, I think I'm talking myself into more of a use case for this deck as sort of a ladder beater, so long as you can avoid Grixis. Yeah. So I guess that's sort of the plan. The cards I'm least sold on in this list are the Volatile Arsonist. Definitely a little skeptical if that card is good enough. Maybe you just play more Burn Down the House or something in that slot. And also, it's kind of interesting to have, you know, Burn Down the House and Brotherhood's End in a deck where you're, you know, you have some solid Planeswalkers you're built around. I think I would be interested in a version of this deck where instead of building around Chandra Dress to Kill, you go more on a colorless route, where you go to Visions of Phyrexia and Thran Spider and just try to go up to Portal to Phyrexia and Cityscape Leveler. I've played a lot of those decks on the channel recently, so I don't really want to go that direction with this particular deck, although it is possible that that's the best iteration of this deck. I actually think I'm going to leave this deck as is, and I might swap out the Arsonist for something I feel might be a little better. But I think before we do that, I'm just going to go ahead and play more games. Okay, our opponent has kept their hand of 7 cards, and we're also going to keep our hand of 7 cards. I mean, if they're a mono red aggro deck or something, our hand isn't the best suited for that, but we have a Rending Flame, you know, it's a turn 3 removal spell. We'll see. Opponent leads on Swift. Yes, they do. See, I feel like in these videos, I'm always like, okay, our hand isn't that great to play around blank. Whatever, you know, control, aggro, Grixis, or whatever, and then we end up playing those decks a large percent of the time. Our opponent is confused here on if they should attack or not. I'll drop them a year ago. I don't know what's going on. You play the Swift Spear, you attack. There's not a lot else to be said there. But I feel like we do kind of speak it into existence a little bit to our detriment here. And so maybe we're just going to get the floor wiped with us from the mono red side. So we'll see. Our opponent has a real hard time making decisions here. Okay, now they're finally getting the decisions on track. We would love to draw a removal spell. I don't think we really want to be in the Reckoner Bankbuster business on turn 2, but I mean, it's better than, I think, Shivan Devastator for a 1/1 to block this Phoenix chick and let them get it back with some hasty threats down the line. Oh, sheesh. Yeah. Okay, burn down the house. That's our plan, I guess. Next turn, we're going to attack with this token. Hope our opponent just dumps their entire hand and we can burn it down, burn the house down. If not, we're going to play this Atsushi. Brotherhood End is really the card we're looking for. Yeah, no blocks from us. have to imagine your opponent has some type of spell to get at us. Lightning strikes our face, yep. So we would have lost our 2/2 if we would have blocked. They would have saved some damage. Okay, yeah, these Atsushis are going. Actually, yeah, we're losing a Bankbuster. We don't even have time for Bankbusting in general. Volatile Arsonist is not bad. Okay, we're gonna attack with the Shaman. And burn down the house and probably concede when our opponent untaps and kills us. Clearly they don't have a play with fire, but there's no way they don't have a some sort of damage. Yeah, Feldon is good enough. Bring it on, opponent. Bring it on. We spoke this into existence. It's on us. I should not have said at the beginning of the match, hey, you know we're not going to be good against mono red. That was on me. I'll take that out. I'll take that out. Okay, I'm gonna avoid doing that in the future, but GG's to our opponent. You just ran us over already. Next game. Okay, and our opponent's going first. They keep 7. This hand is not keepable. We're going down. This hand is looking a lot better. We're going to put the... Can you put the bird down the house on the bottom? Or the Atsushi? Yeah, I think we just put things that cost less on the bottom. So yeah, we could be going Abrade into Reckoner Bankbuster. Depends on what our opponent plays. They didn't play anything, so that'll lead us more to play the Reckoner Bankbuster. Do they have anything this turn? Flesh Gorger. Okay. Much do we really care about Flesh Gorger? We probably care enough to kill it with an Abrade. Yeah. I think we care enough to kill it with the Abrade here. We can keep up the Voltage Surge too. They have an Evolved Sleeper or something. Another Flesh Gorger. Okay. We're gonna draw. And we're gonna play an Atsushi. And yeah, we're not gonna block, so we're gonna attack. I mean, we would if we could block this Flesh Gorger, but it had Menace, so not something we're able to do. Liliana of the Veil. Okay.
A fight? And you think you can win?
Sacrifice the Atsushi. I'm gonna exile the top 2. Arsonist's not bad. Only can play one of these though. It's a little tough. I think we have to play the Arsonist. Attack opponent. Deal one of this. Submit 0. Submit 0 and Planeswalker. Okay, so it's been a while since I've done the Arsonist triggers. Okay, we're on board there. Didn't get the other Fable, but it's alright. When it's on, got a Karn Silex coming. Okay. Submit 0, hit the player, submit 0. And yeah, we're just meant to pass the turn and draw with this Bankbuster eventually. Invoke Despair. Strong response. Chandra. Okay. Taking some damage. Would we rather just kill this Flesh Gorger? I think we would. Sacrifice the Bankbuster. This is tough because they have the Silex face up. We're really low on life though, so I think we gotta preserve our life total as much as we can. So we're gonna draw. And
Without the sun,
plus the Chandra for mana.
aw, you're looking a little singed.
Now we're gonna go ahead and attack. Give our Foundry +2/+2. Put him down to 8. Now our opponent, if they want to pop the Silex, is going to cost him some mana, and we have ways to deal a lot of damage to our opponent, so. Can't beat the Corrupt, though. Losing a mono black. GG's. Opponent's going first. They've also mulliganed. We have a balanced hand here, so we're going to keep. Maybe it'll take a mulligan from our opponent for us to win a game. We'll see. They're on Simic of some sort. We'll pass. We have this Voltage Surge up. If it's something we can kill, I think we're pretty likely to kill it here. Network Disruptor. Don't know if this is a ninjutsu deck or what with the Disruptor, but we're gonna go ahead and pass, and now we have this Abrade up. Ivy. Okay. Gonna attempt to deal 3 damage to Ivy. Assume they'll protect it. Shore up. Okay. Yeah, I think it's worth us killing the Ivy here. Hoping they don't have a second one. That can definitely just spiral out of control if we let it. Network Disruptor, sure. Tapping something that's already tapped. And a combat research. Okay. So how likely is that last card to be a Fading Hope? Yeah, I think we're gonna plus for damage and cast a 1/1 Devastator. I mean, it's not ideal, but at least if they had Fading Hope us there, we would only have lost 1 mana. The only way to give their okay, because it trample. Okay, still it is still going to draw a card, but it is also going to die. Coming out of us. Yep, we're going to block. Well, it's going to definitely draw some cards here. A land, okay. It's good if our opponent keeps hitting those. So it means they're not hitting some of their more impactful spells. We wanted our land of our own there. So because of that, I think we're just gonna plus the Chandra and see what we can hit. Since the 1 mana doesn't do anything to us. Can't cast that. So we're gonna cast the Fable. This will give us some more mana. Besage you on us. Sure. See, now. Okay, maybe we should have. I don't know. Because now we would have really liked to cast both, but obviously it's not a case. I didn't read Besage you, I guess. I'm not sure if we play differently if we know about Besage you, but maybe we do. Storm Chaser Drake, they got it all going on here. They're playing it all out. Our turn. We have a Blast Zone, which is not bad. Yeah, I think the first thing we're going to do is exile with a Chandra. See if we hit anything really good.
So I'm a little hot-headed.
Storm Chaser Striker. Sorry, Shivan Devastator, because Storm Chaser Drake is not bad. Shivan Devastator is not bad. What we were looking for, though, was more of a... more way to take advantage of the fact that they just leave their creatures open here. I think we are going to cast this for 3, though. Just get the value off of our Chandra. Don't think we really need another Fable going that much earlier. Now we can block their Storm Chaser Drake. any spell for it though, and they start rolling. I think those are fine, honestly. Okay, we're gonna exile the top card again. Atsushi.
We should all follow our
Yeah, we'll cast an Atsushi. Essence Capture. That's nasty. Dang. Okay, that was kind of nasty. I respect that. Yep, attacking so we can get some treasures going. And yeah, I think we're gonna get this Rending Flame up. And I think this is our best chance to try to kill this Storm Chaser Drake. Alright, it does resolve. Now we're feeling in a lot better spot. It'd be hard to lose from here, I feel like now. And our opponent agrees. They feel like it would be hard to win from their perspective now. So we'll take a dub. First dub of the day with mono red, but maybe that tells you something. I think we significantly were just outclassing our opponent's deck on power level, so yeah, a dub's a dub though, we'll take it. Okay, opponent's going first, and I think we'll keep this. See what we're gonna be up against. Forest Go. This is gonna be green-white enchantments. Just Forest, Loam Speaker, okay. I think we're just going to choose to kill this Loam Speaker here. Don't want our opponent to get too much value. This turn we get a Fable if we don't need to Brotherhood's End. Nice underdog, okay. I get the Fable going. Let's see what else our opponent plays. They only have the one thing. They only play the one black. So the mostly green deck. Go for the throat, sure. Attacking us, makes sense. Don't know if we're gonna have enough time for this Bankbuster. And this Brotherhood End is gonna get a lot worse. But I don't think we need to discard anything else. Just gonna go ahead and make the monk. Just plan to chump block this underdog. See what else our opponent adds. Defiler or Vigor? Yeah, that's tough. We're not too set up to be beating Defilers here. What to do? I think we'll minus. Is the plan to try to minus eventually with Jaya? I don't think so. The minus the creatures. I don't think that's our plan.
I strive for elegance and speed in my work.
Yeah, maybe a Abrade. Less Brotherhood's End's what we're trying to do. It's not ideal, but guess that's what we're doing. The opponent has another Defiler. It's gonna be kind of tough. They use their whole turn the Tenacious Underdog. That's gonna suck, but could have been worse. Well, it costs 2 black from the graveyard. So they would need a swamp or some other untapped black source. So maybe not. Maybe they don't have it. If they play things we can chump block, we're not that sad about it. Okay, we can chump block that. Jaya token.
The experience
Fable. Pass the turn. I mean, creature is huge, but oh my goodness, the modified creatures have trample. Okay. So we could kill this Kadama with double Voltage Surge. I guess that's what we're doing, and then just chump blocking. Not ideal, certainly, but it seems to be what we're doing. Brotherhood's End. Are either of these cards good right now? I don't think so. Gotta find something else. Burn down the house. Get a monk going.
Taught them everything they know.
Yeah, I think we're just gonna jam. Try to kill our opponent. Playing a block with our 1/1. Trample is our big concern here. Cemetery Prowler. Okay. Well, now they have another big body in the way. Curious to see if our opponent attacks this turn or not. And a Stomper. Oh, okay, now our opponent really does have a lot of this going on. Okay. Yep, they do go in on the Jaya, so we're gonna block. So we could minus the Jaya, kill the Clay Champion, and if they block, we can Brotherhood's End. I guess that's what we're doing.
Ha! Got you!
I am sorry, I thought it was twice that number. That's my bad. I thought it was twice the damage of your creatures. That is my bad. That's not gonna go over well. Okay. Alright, well, don't know if we can beat this Clay Champion. Opponent is probably deciding how they want to attack. Let me draw with the Bankbuster, see what I get. See what they exile. Already have creatures cheaper. Burn down the house, that's sorceries, alright. Draw a card with this Bankbuster. Brotherhood's End. I think we're just gonna save the damage now if we're going to plan on double Brotherhood's ending this turn.
You're lucky I'm nice enough to just leave.
But if anything else? Be interesting to see if they do. Doesn't look like they do. Okay. Well, double Brotherhood's End it is. Kind of tough that that's how we're removing our opponent's spells here. They play another Clay Champion. I just think this game is over. And they did just that. Okay, well at least Atsushi can block and give us some cards so we can play next turn. Lands are fine. We're fine with them having lands. Cityscape Leveler. Sure. Cards, please. Bankbuster and Jaya. Okay, well, we need to be drawing Abrades here. That's our path to victory. Untap, draw an Abrade. Draw with the Bankbuster if we hit an Abrade. Draw with this Bankbuster, see if we hit an Abrade. And we did not, so we're gonna lose to the Trampler. GG's. GG's, and we're back with Big Red. And honestly, I'm just gonna say it, this deck, it's not good enough. I don't think I can really recommend any situation where you would be wanting to play a Big Red style deck I think if you do, you're going to have to go the artifact route with the Portal of Phyrexia, Cityscape Leveler, that sort of thing, because this deck has a couple of main problems. The first main problem is you just can't beat mid-range decks that have more value than you. You just can't do it. That's kind of a tough spot to be in. The second big problem is you cannot kill big creatures at all. Like, you can't. The creature's bigger than 5 toughness. You literally can't kill it in this deck. You have to double up, and even then it's going to be hard. So those, I think, are 2 huge sticking points pulling the deck back. I think you could fix those things mostly by going to the Visions of Phyrexia and Portal to Phyrexia, Cityscape Leveler, Thran Spider, sort of build of the deck. But I didn't want to go that version here, because we played a lot of Cityscape Leveler and Portal to Phyrexia here recently. I wanted to more stick it out, see if it is possible that Big Red could survive in this sort of configuration, and I think we learned a valuable lesson in knowing that it's not. So I know the video is going to be a little bit more lame when we only win 1 game. I literally played, I don't know how many games you're going to see total, but I played a bunch of games that you're going to see, and I'm sure a bunch that you're not going to see. And I literally won 1 game in all of them. So pulling back the curtain there, literally just won the 1 game. And that was obviously against an Ivy deck that just didn't have what it takes to compete in the ranked standard queue. If I'm going to be completely honest, it just wasn't a good deck. So we really, won 0 matches against decks you would expect to see, and that's even accounting for opponents stumbling. That happens in Magic. Your opponent mulligans to 6 and then doesn't do exactly what they feel like. We lost to aggro multiple times, which is something you would feel like you have a good matchup in, and I still do feel like this deck has a good matchup against aggro, but you need to have the hand for it, and we got run over several times. We didn't have Brotherhood's End. But yeah, that's really the gist of it. I don't think sorry to the deck creator Slicers for giving you bad news here, but I think that's how you're going to need to go if you want to proceed with this version of the deck. I definitely wouldn't recommend anyone use wild cards to craft any of the cards in this deck, but I'm hopeful that there are some good red cards in. Phyrexia all will be one, so maybe this deck gets a little bit of a shot in the arm, but I'm still skeptical seeing the spoiler on what this deck is going to be able to compete. And this is not one of the places I would look to start in Phyrexia all will be one standard. I'm not sure it'll quite be good enough. Just like it's clearly not good enough here. Speaking of Phyrexia all will be one, I need some decks to play for that format. So if you could please submit decks, new decks that obviously you can't play it on Arena yet. Even when this video comes out, you won't be able to play it on Arena. But you can build a deck still in Aether Hub or wherever else, as long as the cards are ported in. So please submit those deck lists, and I would love to get a look at those before the format drops, so I can have a nice fresh suite of decks. I think the format comes live Tuesday the 7th. Let me look at a calendar real quick. I believe it is Tuesday the 7th, so don't hold me to that, but I think that's when we can play with the new cards. So yeah, get your decks in for that. And if you like this deck, you're probably going to like the last deck we played, which is a Poppet Stitcher deck, a lot more, since that deck's a lot better. It can actually win games, and it's really fun too, so check that one out. And until next time, wherever you are, whenever you are, have a magical day.